All right. Where's the lower third? I always forget the lower third. Nope. Colin Mendelssohn's not here today.
Not here.
Let's see. Nope. That's Charles Gardner.
Nope.
That's Amanda Wheeler's not here.
Unfortunately, no.
We are. Nope. Here it is. There it is. GrimmGreen, Danielle Jones. There we go. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to TBN, baby. This is the stream where we focus down on not arguably the most important thing that we do in vaping, and that is news, advocacy, and facts, and science. And we often discuss policy and legislation and harm reduction and nicotine and smoking and other things too, I'm assuming.
Random life,
all
unpopular opinions.
Unpopular opinions. I am your, it's whatever. I'm a freedom-enjoying libertarian host, GrimmGreen, joined now by, it's my far-left fact-checker, Danielle Jones, with a slick new haircut.
You guys, here's the result of the poll I did like 3 months ago, live on TBN. If you remember,
this TBN, yeah.
I chopped all my hair off. So for those of you that said don't do it, and for those of you that were like, do it, here it is. I think it's good.
It's spectacular. I like it.
It's good.
It's fresh. It's vibrant. It's sassy.
I actually have to wear it down now. So,
yeah, it's good. It's a good slick. That's a very modern 2022 look. It's good.
Short hair, don't care.
Short hair, don't care. No F's given. Some choppiness, that's fine. It could just be my internet. Let me turn this off real quick. Okay, hang on. Yeah, I know. It's telling me that my stream quality has automatically been lowered because my internet wasn't fast enough. I know. Okay, we should be back to normal now. Well, welcome, you guys.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. We're here today to talk about some news and advocacy and the such as. We've been gone for a little bit, went on spring break, but now we're back in action. We're ready to talk about it. We got a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today, just kind of bring up and bring into the conversation. We are going to talk about China a little bit in the very last TBN. We did some, we kind of touched a little bit, I guess, on China, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about China. Hopefully to calm people down a little bit, and realize that the sky's not actually falling right now at this moment, because most of what we know about China is that we actually don't really know what's going to be going on in China. We've had very few little tidbits from China, and even the laws and regulations that they're proposing in China, they themselves are vague and nebulous, kind of weird regulations. So at best, what we can do today is hopefully calm people down. And at worst, we'll talk about what's the worst thing that's going to happen. Yeah, don't worry. We'll talk about it. What is the worst that's going to happen? It's okay. We'll talk about it. But the first thing that I want to mention that Danielle Jones brought to my attention just recently, Rob Battison, he's a vapor. He's got a jewel in his utility belt.
I mean, it's kind of neat.
That is rad.
Jewel pocket.
Batman has a jewel pocket. I wonder if the Truth Initiative has seen this. They're going to be losing their minds. There is so much tobacco use in movies, and now Batman's using a jewel. Yeah.
To be clear, as far as I'm aware, I haven't seen the movie, watching it tonight. He doesn't vape in the movie. It's just that the actor has a long history of smoking and apparently uses a jewel and was storing it in the bat suit in between takes or whatnot.
Yeah. Robert Pattinson was a smoker. Look at that. I heard a rumor that he has a friend, Leonardo DiCaprio, who is a vapor.
Right.
And that's how maybe that situation happened. Robert Pattinson happily vaping now. You think he would come on the stream? Do you think we could get Robert Pattinson to come on and talk about his quits, his switching story?
Doubt it.
Yeah. He's probably in real high demand, probably pretty busy.
Yeah, probably not.
I could slide in his DMs, though. That could be a thing.
You could.
That could be a thing.
Totally slide in his DMs. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Grimm.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. That's 100% true. I could be just blown away. He gets back to me like 5 minutes later. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, I'd love to come on your show." He's like, "Oh, I'm an avid watcher, man.
Yeah, I love it. I watch TBN.
You helped me quit smoking."
Yeah, that's the dream.
That would be hysterical.
That would be hysterical. That would be hilarious. I wouldn't know what to do if a large celebrity came up to me and was like, "Oh, hey, I watched your videos. You helped me quit smoking." I'd just be like, as I urinate my pants, like, I don't even know what to say to that. What do you?
Can I get that in writing? That's the first thing you say, Nick.
Can I get that in writing? Can I get that?
A video? Can we, please?
For Instagram, for the stories, maybe?
Right.
Nobody would believe me.
No,
Nobody would believe me.
I mean, I would believe you. If you told me that it happened, I would believe you because I trust you.
Yeah, okay. See? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Juul does have its place in vaping. Juul is better. Juul is a higher quality, better vaping product than everything that FDA has authorized so far.
True facts.
100% better than the Vuse Solo, 100% better than very-low-nicotine cigarettes, 100% better than, what's the other one that got authorized?
Oh.
There was a third one from a company I'd never heard of before.
Logic, right?
Logic,
right? I think that's right.
Logic?
I think that's right. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It might be like
Logic.
E-Logic or something, but it was Logic.
It was Logic. It should have been a Cali burn.
Fact check us.
I agree, Kenny. Yeah, fact check us. It should have been a Cali burn. But so far, all FDA has authorized is 2 high nicotine products from big tobacco companies.
Yes, Logic and their brands Logic Vape Leaf, Logic Power, and Logic Pro have received authorizations by the FDA.
Logic Pro E-cig. Let's see how advanced this technology is. Are any of these the Logic Pro? Okay, that's probably it, right? Logic Pro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's like peak 2013 technology right there.
Is that Logic a micromizer? Pro, is that what that is?
It looks like a clearomizer for sure.
Yeah.
That is goofy. It
like
could
ego.
Yeah, it looks ego-ish.
It looks hanging down.
Ego-ish, doesn't it?
It does look ego-ish.
Logic liquid tank. I want to try one. I still want to get down on a Logic.
See if you can find one.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try to go to the same place that I bought my my Vuse Solo. See if he has any in stock. He had to special order me a Vuse Solo so that I could buy it. He ordered like 50 of them, and I was like, no, I just need one. It's like, oh, okay. And all of the Vuse Solos are still just sitting there in this poor guy's shop.
No.
It's kind of a bummer. But, okay, let me do a real quick rundown. I do want to talk about China. I do want to talk about doctors who think that nicotine causes cancer or something along those lines. Really super misinformed doctors. Johnny Depp vapes too. Did you see that? Johnny Depp vapes.
I think he was. Yeah, I think Katy Perry does. There's like
Katy
a handful
Perry too.
of celebrities.
In fact, I saw
something. I can't remember everybody, but
Johnny Depp uses a Subtank Mini, and that cracks me up. Subtank Mini. What else did we want to talk about today, Danielle Jones? Addressing China. Oh, that's right. The Triton lawsuit. There's a big lawsuit going on right now that is still in the works, being, I don't know what they would call it. It's in the process.
We're waiting for a ruling.
We're waiting for a ruling. Okay. Yeah. In the process, we're waiting for a ruling. But that Triton lawsuit could definitely change vaping in the United States. I mean, yeah, vaping in the United States, I think in a big way.
Or how FDA, is allowed to do things.
Yes. FDA doesn't even know how they're allowed to do things.
No, no. They're just making it up.
And I got to say, Robert Califf's first couple tweets as head of the FDA have not been anything I've been into. He hasn't tweeted anything. No. Anything at all. That's good.
I think I got salty with him.
Did you get salty with him? I've been salty with him a few times as well.
I think I did. Let me go look.
And it's because he keeps using the tobacco product nomenclature.
Right. While
actively trying to talk about disinformation. And I'm going, You're the disinformation, Caliph. You're saying the disinformation word of tobacco product, which you hate disinformation. So why do you keep using that word? Why do you keep using those?
Yeah, he did a tweet. As a physician, it pains me to see patients lose their lives to preventable disease. Yeah. Nicotine is extremely addictive, especially for children. We have to do more, and I'm pleased to say that we're making progress. So talking about patients losing their lives to preventable diseases, and in the same breath talking about how addicting nicotine is, makes it sound like he's talking about nicotine and that nicotine kills people.
Right.
That's one sentence right after the other. No paragraph break, same tweet. And so I got salty with him, and I was like, as a physician, I would expect you to know that patients don't lose their lives because of nicotine.
Because of nicotine. Getting salty with Caliph.
I did get salty with Caliph. He is not. We'll just call everything tobacco, and then no one can question anything. It's just all tobacco.
Everything's tobacco.
We'll just conflate everything together, and then no one will know what's going on, and we can just fly under the radar and do whatever we want. I feel like that is their playbook.
It is their playbook. And, look, I was probably a little bit more optimistic than I should have been, but I was hoping that Caliph, being a lifelong cardiologist, would bring some sort of expertise or some sort of credible level of science to the FDA. But instead, all we got was, it was like he didn't even miss a beat. He just dropped right in there and was like, tobacco products and youth uptake and nicotine, all the same talking points, all the same everything. It's like, apparently it doesn't matter who we have in charge of the FDA because they're just going to puppet the same talking points that the previous group of people did or the previous head of the FDA did.
I mean, to be fair to whoever takes over, I mean, this is like a giant snowball or rock that is rolling down a hill, and no new commissioner is going to be able to stop this machine. So I didn't really have any... I mean, there are probably some small things that he could definitely control and do to make this better, but it's not like he could just,
Right. He doesn't necessarily have that
unregulate.
Power.
Right. I mean,
unregulate at all.
Right. He couldn't just be like, let's just erase this whole situation. Like, no, he couldn't do that. But I mean, he could have authorized some goddamn PMTAs, but
one of the millions that was submitted. And this is okay. Let's talk about that Triton lawsuit real quick, because one of the things that I really like about this Triton lawsuit, I'm going to post a link down in the description. See, this is what happens when you have to be your own producer. The Triton lawsuit.
I've got a Jim article about it. The last one he wrote.
Here, I like Jim. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna pick and choose from Filter magazine while we're here, because Alex Norsha wrote about it, and he went to Triton. And saw their whole facility. And one of the things, now I'm not going to sit here and read this whole thing. This is the vape company at the center of the FDA storm. This is Triton Distribution. And one of the things that this article talks about that I really, really like, and I wish that non-industry people and non-vapors would read it, and that is painting the picture of these vape companies are by the book, on the up and up, legitimate vape companies that care about the quality of their product. They have ISO level, pharmaceutical food grade clean rooms where everything is meticulously mixed and measured, and they have clean rooms and very strict about airflow and allergens and pollutants and things, and everything's traced and everything's numbered, and you could take a bottle from any batch of their e-liquid and trace recall it back to the source of when it was created. Like disabusing people of that idea that the hobbyist vape industry is just opportunistic people mixing liquid in our basements, trying to hook kids and trying to, why can't we do 70 milligram, 80 milligram nicotine? And, we're these shady ass people. Yeah. This is a legitimate hundreds of people operation, mixing and batching and selling and distributing e-liquid for multiple brands. Who is included in these? Who is included in these brands? Jimmy the Juice Man, Vape-tasia, Suicide Bunny. They manufacture Boilermaker. Yeah.
Chewy Clouds, Telios.
Oh, Telios. I see. Maybe that Jim McDonald article is better. But what
he did list brands.
He did list the brands. This is a really good article, and I just liked. There was two quotes in here that I really, really like, where it says trying to make sense of the FDA, and the guy from Triton is talking about how. Here it is. Now, the FDA has gone and authorized the Vuse Solo, which uses 50 milligrams of nicotine. Triton's most popular products are 3 milligrams. That's 20 times less nicotine than in an FDA-authorized product, yet it was the Triton products that were MDO'd. Despite having 20 times less nicotine. Shouldn't that alone speak to youth uptake?
Yeah.
The idea that these are, for all intents and purposes, like trace amounts of nicotine in a big bottle. You have, 3 milligram as opposed to 50 milligram, 5% solution. That makes me insane. Like, I feel his pain right here when he says, our products are 3 milligram at the most, but that's not enough to convince the FDA that these are protection of public health, and youth won't take them up.
Well, because flavors.
Right. It's just the flavors. Right. Of course, it's just the flavors. So this is a thing that has been happening for a while now. Months, I would say.
Oh, a while.
It's not. I think, what does it say? October, it'll be a year?
Let's see. Yeah, October is when we got announcements, I believe, about the stay that they were granted. So
that's right.
It's been going on since at least October. I don't remember when they actually filed. It may have been even months before that. I don't have the exact date, but at least October.
It says here, this is the part I wanted to read, the very tail end of this. It says, in mid-October, about a month after the FDA issued its denial, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals granted Triton a full judicial stay. This allows the company to continue selling its products as the lawsuit remains active, and is the reason the gyroscopic mixer was still whirring when I visited. Whirring. I like that word. When issuing the stay, a panel of judges wrote an impassioned opinion, 20 scathing pages that slammed the FDA for botching its regulatory responsibilities. So not only did Triton get a stay, they're allowed to stay on the market. The panel of judges that gave them that stay, they themselves were not happy with what the FDA had done.
Well, no, and a lot of times they said this, and the reason that they granted the stay is because they felt reasonably sure that Triton would come out on top. Like, that's part of the consideration for granting a stay, based on some legal things that I read somewhere once upon a time, is that, you know what I mean? That judges have to think that based on what they've seen so far, early judgment looking like it's likely that they will succeed in this. That's why the stay is given. So, I mean, all
that's
signs
a good thing.
So far have been pointing to this could turn out well.
Yes.
For Triton.
For Triton.
According to Amanda Wheeler, who CASAA actually had on our Twitter Spaces last week, he mentioned that those in the know are saying that they're expecting the ruling on this lawsuit any day now. So everybody's just kind of waiting around. Apparently they had oral arguments at some point, and they're online somewhere that you can listen to. And she was saying that the judges were asking really good questions and seemed really to understand what was going on.
Oh.
So, I mean, people,
like this.
Fingers crossed. I mean, fingers crossed. It'll be interesting to see what the judges say, what they decide, and then how that affects, the whole PMTA process. If it does, I don't know exactly how this works. I think we're kind of sort of in a little bit of murky territory in terms of what is this going to do and how does this affect things and et cetera.
There's so many cards up in the air. It's ridiculous, especially even just reading through this article about this lawsuit. Now, I don't know exactly why. I mean, I know exactly why Triton is doing this, but I don't know what their end result is. If Triton wins this lawsuit, then that leaves us with a question mark.
Well, yeah.
Now
so
it's been established that FDA acted capriciously or irresponsibly.
Right, and like move the goalposts.
That
wasn't fair.
Right.
So then, so that's the question: is what is the remedy here? Like,
what is the remedy?
Do they have to? Does the judge? These are guesses. I'm asking questions here. I do not know the answer. So does the judge say like, "Oh, FDA, you're not allowed to ask for these new studies that you never asked for before. You don't get to consider this. So you have to put Triton's applications back in and reconsider them without that consideration that you're not allowed to do any." Like, is that what happens? I don't
if
I have no
that would
idea.
be like that would be an amazing case scenario, I think. If at the end
you're
of
not
this,
allowed to use this excuse to deny
MDOs. Applications, right? And they'll probably like distill it down even further and say like, you can't use this reasoning to deny they're gonna draw a line and they're gonna say these applications, okay, that's still okay that you denied them, but moving forward, starting with Triton, now you're gonna have to abide by these certain rules, and maybe the MDOs that have been MDO'd will just be MDO'd forever, and they don't get a.
I don't know how. I mean, I do know that other companies have appealed also. I don't know off the top of my head how many. I do know that there was some sort of time limit. I think from when you got the MDO, I want to say there was only 30 days you had to like appeal or file a lawsuit or something. So if companies got MDO'd and did not, I don't know if a decision in any one of these cases would affect them at all. We don't know how this works, or if, I feel like it's unlikely that whatever this ruling is would retroactively apply to everybody else, even if they didn't sue or appeal. But I'm not a lawyer, you guys. I literally have no idea. It would be super if it did.
Yeah.
But I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how this.
I don't know. Either.
I don't know if. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many different things that I feel like could happen. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
As Filter previously reported, there are essentially 3 potential outcomes. Here, we should have just read the end of the article. Yeah, thanks, Alex. The court upholds the FDA's denial, and Triton can no longer sell its products. The court vacates the marketing denial order and enjoins the agency from taking adverse action against Triton's application for some time to allow the company to complete these long-term studies while potentially continuing to sell its products in the interim.
Okay.
Or the court vacates the denial but does not enter an injunction, putting the PMTA back under review to be reevaluated over an intermediate period. So that sounds to me like, yes, the PMTA, if Triton wins, their PMTAs would come back under review to be reevaluated, possibly minus the surprise switcheroo. Am I interpreting that right? I don't know if I'm.
That
Alex
last one is a little confusing to me.
Alex is smarter than me, so oftentimes some things he says, it's like he says them in such a smart, witty way that I'm like, I didn't get that. It went right over my head, Alex Norcia. Completely over my head.
But does not enter an injunction, putting the PMTA back under review to be reevaluated over an. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't totally understand what that last one means.
Yeah, not 100% sure. Damn,
so maybe the judge is not going to say, FDA, you can't consider this. They're going to say, FDA, if this is a consideration that you want to have, you now have to give everybody extra time in order to do these studies that you're now asking for. Like, maybe that's, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. Lawyer stuff is hard.
Lawyer stuff is hard. He does say dozens of other manufacturers have filed similar lawsuits alleging that the agency acted arbitrarily and capriciously in reviewing their prospective PMTAs. Many observers are paying particular attention to Triton, given the initial judge's opinion and the fact that the decision will likely be the first verdict of its kind. This is going to be the first. There was another. Do you remember the right to be smoke-free lawsuit?
Yeah, but this, that was about like.
That wasn't a thing. That never got anywhere.
I want to say that was challenging like the deeming rule or something. Like, this is the first lawsuit of its kind in terms of they're challenging an MDO, right? A product applied, was denied, and now they're challenging. So that is unique.
Yeah, I agree with.
Doing the
I agree with
in general over whatever is not unique, but this particular, type of lawsuit.
It says, well, whatever happens could serve as a kind of precedent, a reasoning that other federal appeals judges across the country might take into consideration.
That's true.
In the end, the court could conclude that the APPH standard the FDA applied was not exactly within its regulatory power. The bar to entry, after all, was that these vaping products must be safer than cigarettes, not that they would necessarily lead a smoker to quit. Mm-hmm. I think that's an important distinction, too. Mm-hmm. They only have to be safer than cigarettes. We don't need evidence that these help smokers quit. They just need to be safer in the eyes of the FDA.
Exactly. Because for protection of public health, right, it just needs to be less harmful.
Yeah, it just needs to be less harmful. It doesn't actually have to help you quit smoking.
Right, because we're not applying, they're not applying as a cessation product. This isn't a drug.
Yeah, it's a modified risk or a MRTP, modified risk tobacco product.
Well, that's a whole separate.
Oh, that's a whole other separate thing. Yeah. So even if you're bureaucracy rules. So even if you're so this is a brand new tobacco product, right? And then it gets authorized by the FDA as authorized to be on the market, and it's for the protection of public health.
Right.
If you want to officially say that this is a modified risk tobacco product, saying less that this is less harmful, then you have to apply for something else completely, the MRTP.
MRTP, right. And then they control literally word by word what you're allowed to say.
Yes, so they're very, very specific.
That verbatim you are allowed to put on your
and
marketing.
That's all you're allowed to put on your bit. That's it.
That's it. Yep.
USA.
Yeah.
Awesome. We rule. We rule at harm reduction, clearly. So as the vaping debate plays out in the United States, it's all going to come down to lawsuits, which, man, that just seems so American to me. Doesn't that seem the most American thing?
I'm rolling my eyes because I'm not a fan of our sue happy society personally, but whatevsies.
Hey, me neither.
In a situation like this, if that's your only option, you're glad you have it.
Yeah. But, I'm glad that Triton sued. I'm glad that other manufacturers and other distributors sued the federal government. I am overjoyed to see the vape industry not just roll over, not just roll over, because so many people have rolled over, and it's like, let's stop rolling over.
Yeah.
Let's knock that shit off. So Triton, look, it's a thing. We'll update you when we can update you. Yep. And that's it.
Keep your ears out.
Keep your ears out for the Triton lawsuit. Jada, you want to talk about China just for a little bit?
Sure.
We touched on China in the last TBN, and then I just keep hearing all this stuff about China, and I think people are just misinformed. And so
I think they might be a little confused.
I think people might be confused.
Floating around.
Yeah. There's some people saying some things. We're just going to get down to the facts of it, okay? Mm-hmm. That's it. That's what we care about on TBN, science, news, and facts. Yep. These are the facts of the situation, is that the majority of these new Chinese regulations are domestic, right?
Yes.
So this means for China only.
Right, for products sold within
China. Sold domestically within China. This is the most recent information that I had found about it, and this comes from a Chinese supplier, Hylic. I've never used Hylic.
I don't know.
But apparently they're quite a big manufacturer. And so they have some bullet points here, and they talk about there's going to be a Chinese E-cig product traceability system. They're going to have their own platform, unified e-cig management platform. So if you are selling or manufacturing e-cigarettes in China, you have to use their united e-cig management platform, which will make it, I don't know, I'm assuming easier to keep track of all the manufacturers, keep track of everybody selling inside the country, this, that, and the other. You have to remember that China is a state-owned tobacco monopoly. So all combustible tobacco comes directly from the government. They own it. They own the tobacco monopoly in the country. So anything that sort of threatens that tobacco monopoly generally, I feel like China wouldn't be a big fan of it. Additionally, in China only, no exhibitions, no forums, no shows, no expositions, no nothing to promote e-cig products. In China, only tobacco flavors are allowed. All other flavors are banned. Again, only in China, domestic sales. Open rather than closed devices are prohibited in China, like refillable DIY pods. So any sub-tank, any RDA, any RTA, anything that we consider open vapor, banned in China, prohibited. E-cig specialty stores, sure. They're making e-cig specialty stores carry a lot more products to force people to carry more variety. That's fine. There's some stringent tobacco wholesale licensing and the such as going on. But really, the cross-border trade is really the only thing that I think people are freaking out about. Like, I'm not so concerned. Like, it's a bummer that there's a flavor ban in China.
Right.
But it doesn't super affect me. It doesn't super affect the United States.
And China, from what I understand, has been pretty restrictive on vaping for a long time now, domestically. Anyway, because they have state-owned tobacco companies. So
state-owned tobacco monopoly.
Obviously, as THR advocates, we want everyone to have access to
absolutely.
These products. We're not
100%.
saying that, the people in China don't matter. However, if you're looking at this from the perspective of an American or someone in Europe or whatever and trying to see how this affects you personally, the answer is most of this doesn't.
Most of this doesn't.
And the parts that might, we don't know exactly how it's going to land, essentially. It's the way that this is written is quite vague, especially when it comes to exports, which is what the rest of the world who is not in China cares about.
Yep.
And it even, I don't know if you're going to, I don't want to jump the gun here, but if you're going to get into the summary and read those.
Well, it talks about, the first thing it talks about with cross-border trading is the packaging of e-cig products exclusively for exports shall meet the requirements set by the STMA. That's the Chinese, what's this STMA stand for? State Tobacco Monopoly Administration. So the state has to approve your packaging. State has to approve your packaging if you're exporting it. E-cig products that are not sold in China and are for export shall comply with the regulations of the destination, country, or region. If there are no specific regulations there, they shall comply with the regulations of China. That's the part that's the weirdest to me.
Right. And that's the one that I think most people are kind of unsure.
I think that's what most everybody's freaking out about.
Right.
Because what would be the situation in the United States? Obviously, they couldn't ship to us.
Unless it has a PMTA.
Right. It would be illegal to ship from China to the United States unless that product has an approved, authorized PMTA. Authorized PMTA. And if there's no regulations, like say, I don't know, they're shipping it to, who has no regulations? Norway?
I don't know.
Who has no vape? Who has zero vape regulations right now?
What's some like tiny random Eastern European country that probably doesn't?
I don't think Norway has any. I don't think Norway has any vape regulations in place right now. So
insert example country here.
Insert example where there's no vape regulations whatsoever. They would still have to comply with the Chinese tobacco monopoly, the state laws.
Right. They impose what their regulations are onto
so if that
it's
country.
Not legal in China, it would not be legal in that country.
Right. That seems like they're overreaching a little bit in their power. We're going to control the laws in your country now.
Right.
If you don't have the laws, you're going to follow our laws. That's a weird precedent to set.
It is a little bit of a weird.
It's super weird. So let's summarize this. This regulation mainly applies to businesses that conduct activities within China. Domestic sales. Regulation about nicotine e-liquid is not specified in this file, so there exists a vague explanation about zero nicotine products. This shows that zero nicotine products are in a gray area. They're always going to be in a gray area, I think, every country on Earth. The vaping products discussed in this document also cover other new tobacco products, including those of solid form. I just have a big question mark right there. I don't
like
know what
pouches,
that means.
Maybe?
Pouches,
like
yeah, that's what I was
pouches.
thinking, like snooze pouches.
Yeah.
Sure. The new measures might lead to an uncertain future and significantly less profit for the domestic vaping market in China. Again, the majority of this is dealing with domestic sales in China. The measure only explicitly prohibits the sale of flavored vapes in China, but did not mention the production or export of flavored juices. This will leave room for more explanation on export businesses. According to many experts, the Chinese government encourages companies that focus on an export business. So this company is kind of postulating that because China encourages companies to export things, that they'll be less rigid with exporting than they are with domestic sales and the such as. At least that's how it translates to me.
Right, it's a theory.
It's a theory. The E-cig transaction platform could be a major headwind for the vaping industry. The platform indicates that e-cigarettes will be subject to the same pricing and quota requirements as traditional tobacco products. This is still internally, I believe, still domestically in China. I don't think the pricing, I mean, it could affect the pricing worldwide. I mean, I don't know.
Again, I
doubt
think
it.
Pretty much all of this, unless it is explicitly says it's about exports, is about domestic.
All domestic.
Is my understanding in this moment. Just so you guys
same.
know, we're not experts. And again, this is kind of confusing. And
it's vague on purpose. I mean, it's the same thing that the FDA does. It's vague on purpose. They don't want you to have a full, real grasp of this.
Doubtful.
The requirements for having an adequate amount of capital and finances are an immense entry barriers for new and small players. This is extremely beneficial to those established players. So basically, China's, doing what America's does and supporting the biggest of the big companies while letting the smaller picking winners and losers. This regulation favors the notion that consumers should get more reliable, higher quality, and safer products from the upstream producers and sellers who expected to take more responsibility. So, China, I don't think is going to be that, honestly, I don't think it's going to be that huge of a deal for the United States. Because most of 90% of this is for domestic, right?
Right. The main thing people need to remember, I see people in chat, does this mean they're banning pod systems in China? For sale within China to Chinese
flavored
people.
Yes.
Yes. But for you who is not located in China, I'm assuming, this does not necessarily mean these bans don't necessarily affect you. That's manufacturing and sales are two different things. You guys, we have the same thing here in the United States. All of these companies getting denied by FDA, they can still manufacture their products in this country and then send them to England or send them to Germany or send them, right? The government isn't stopping people from manufacturing and then exporting out of the country. What they can control is domestic sales.
Yes.
Well, at least in America. In China, I think they have the ability to control all kinds of things. But for the moment, all of these very specific and particular bans and regulations are for the Chinese people and what they can purchase.
Yes. Purely for domestic sales. Not to beat the dead horse into the ground. But I don't know that this is going to super affect the United States market. If it does affect the United States market, the only thing that I see happening in the United States is less frequent product releases, most likely. And the less frequent product releases are probably going to be a little bit more expensive.
Right.
That's really all that's like the worst case scenario. I think worst case, let's say that everybody's fears are true and now we can't buy anything from China because our destination export, we have our own rules and China just straight up cannot ship to us. It's everybody's worst case scenario. We can get zero things from China. We will still be able to vape because other countries can get stuff from China, and then we can order it from those other countries to get our vape stuff.
Right. Like, for example, in England, they're still going to be able to, right? In the UK.
By the mountainful.
Right? It's legal there. So, things could get more expensive, right? Because the more middlemen you have, instead of buying direct from China, you'd have to buy like from a distro in England that bought from the distro in China or something. And all those tiers do add cost.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that is something that would likely happen if that, worst case scenario. And again, even if that is the regulation, who's to say the Chinese government is going to enforce it? Like, we don't know the answer to these things.
Nope.
So I think anybody who's like losing their mind should not be freaking out right now. We don't know enough to freak out yet. And I would say to you that if you are extremely anxious about this, just stock up on a few things. Don't like create a panic buy. This isn't toilet paper at the beginning of COVID here, but I'm not trying to do that. But if you're worried, pick up a couple extra pieces of hardware for your own peace of mind. You'll be supporting businesses around you. That's great. I mean, there's no harm. A few months ago, I bought like 4 mods just to make sure that I would always have a mod, working in the house. There's if that will give you peace of mind, go ahead and do that then.
Yeah. And honestly, if this happens, which, I mean, I don't see this happening. I don't really see this hyper affecting the United States. Less products, probably. I know people, I'm going to be as vague as I possibly can about this. I know people who know people in China. I know other people who know other people in China. I know people in China. And what I have heard from other people and from my people is that there doesn't seem to be any real panic about this at all among big vape manufacturers. This is completely unsubstantiated rumor.
Right. These are rumors.
Rumor. This is not a truth. This is not a fact. This is pure rumor. Not super worried about these regulations affecting export markets really in any capacity. I've even heard further unsubstantiated rumors from one company in particular that if it came to it, they would just leave Shenzhen. They would just leave China and continue manufacturing somewhere else. Leave China completely. The vape manufacturers want to keep creating create vape products because obviously it's monetarily beneficial to them. They're capitalists, right? So they're not going to just stop. They're not.
I mean, yeah.
They
the dedicated ones. There are kind of, right. We've heard that there are these sort of factories that like every week they retool everything and make a different, product. I mean, there is an element of that going on. But if you're like an established company and you've gone all in on this, you're probably not just going to give up, I would guess. But too early to panic is the TLDR here.
Way too early to panic.
And if you need some peace of mind, just buy a couple extra, whatever you can afford, mods, pods, whatever it is you're worried about.
Yeah, exactly. There's no need to panic right now. This isn't the end of vaping. And look, I just want to throw this out there again, that even if it was the worst case scenario and we can get nothing from China, that will just take me back personally to like the early days of the vape industry when I was buying my liquids from people. And I was buying mods and atomizers from people that made them. There was one RDA recently that came out, the pallet RDA. I'm not sure if anybody was hip to the pallet RDA. It was a little squonker RDA. Completely China-free product. Alex, who lives in the United States, designed this, had it manufactured in Germany, shipped to the United States. He quality checked every single one and then sold a bunch of RDAs, and I bought one. It's basically the high-end market. It's basically entrepreneurs who are going to be designing and manufacturing and machining vape stuff. Life finds a way. Ian Malcolm said that in Jurassic Park. Life finds a way. Vaping will definitely, absolutely find a way because it's so easy. You need a battery, wire, that's it. What, cotton? Maybe? Life finds a way. So I hope we were able to clear that up a little bit. If we didn't, then I apologize. If we confused you further, then I apologize because that was not our intention.
I hope we didn't confuse you further.
Our intention was to just ease everybody's tensions a little bit. I keep getting plenty of messages and comments talking about that the sky is falling and that China's banning all of vaping and we won't be able to buy anything anymore. And I'm like, well, wait, whoa, back up. Hang on. That's not what's happening.
Right.
That's not what's happening. So just stop saying that. That's not what's happening. If it gets to that point, I'm sure we'll let you know, but I don't think it's going to get to that point.
Right. We have to wait and see what, keep your ear to the ground for news. But
yeah.
Most of this does not apply to you and me and people in the United States.
Nope.
Nope.
Not at all. So China, I feel like everything today, the Triton lawsuit, the China thing, it's like, hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. Get the lawsuit in, get to do the Triton thing, do the lawsuit. Wait. Okay, we just got to wait now. It's like, these Chinese regulations are coming, domestic regulations. No, just wait.
Yep.
Just got to hurry up and wait. And that's what we're doing. I'm trying not to rage sweat every piece of news that I hear, like every piece of news that I read and feel sweat dripping down my face and go, that's it. We're done. It's over.
Right.
It's over.
You'll exhaust yourself and give yourself a heart attack. Like you guys, what we're trying to do is prioritize for you the things that you should be freaking out about.
Yeah.
And we're bumping this one down the list a little bit.
Yeah, way down the list.
Take a breath.
The Triton lawsuit is more important than this. There's lots of things in the vape space that is much more important than this. Things like supporting your local CASAA organization by buying a T-shirt up to 30% off. T-shirts, you can get weapons of mass destruction.
Oh, look!
Yeah.
Disruption. Yeah, that's my T-shirt.
Weapons of mass disruption. I love it. I feel like a troublemaker. I feel like a hoodlum every time I wear it. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. It's a good one.
We got all kinds of stuff, you guys. There's buttons, there's stickers, there's face masks, there's hoodies, there's T-shirts, tank tops, you name it. It is likely in the CASAA store and on sale until the 28th. So
yeah, quite a deal. I like that you guys did the ask me how I quit smoking.
I know. I've been wanting to do that one for so long. You guys, you can be a walking billboard for tobacco harm reduction.
Yeah.
You put that on, you go to the grocery, you might have somebody walk up to you and say, well, I just read your T-shirt. How did you quit smoking? And then you can share the good word of vaping with them.
Proselytize vaping. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I would wear that hoodie. I would wear that shirt.
Go to the smoking section of a place and vape. And people walk up to you. You guys. I'm like trying to turn you into mini vaping Mormons. Like, go out into the world.
Just go door to door with your vapes and just knock on the door and say, does anybody here smoke cigarettes?
I mean, at least.
Well, don't I have the product for you?
I've got a message for you.
I've got a message for you. Let me check in on a couple of these super chats that came in. I think I saw some super chats come in. I missed them all. Jake Scrapwood, that's right. He was the first one. Hey, I resemble that basement comment. Listen, Jake, you can have your workshop, your modding workshop in your basement, and that's fine. I'm not going to hold that against you. But you're not like Jake's killer e-liquid, and you're not mixing it in a bathtub and distributing it across the country and showing up to like middle schools and giving it to little kids. Like everybody thinks that's what the vape industry is doing.
Right.
It's a legitimate industry, and I don't understand why people don't recognize that. We want these products to be good. We want these products to be safe. We want these products to be high quality. We want the liquid that you get to be high quality e-liquid with high quality ingredients and clean, safe nicotine in them. We don't want, what's that over there? I don't know. Dump it in. It's a bottle of something. Just mix it up. Woo! E-liquid. It's not how it goes down.
Bathtub situation.
we don't want
things that are safe.
Yeah, we don't need bathtub mint juleps from the Prohibition era of America.
Right. We want, quality stuff that is still, a small manufacturer can get in on. We do still want that, right? Our Lord and Vapor? Oh my God, Legion. Nick, you need to put that on a T-shirt.
You're killing me, Legion Vapes. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's hilarious. Excuse me. Do you have a minute or two to talk about our Lord and Vapor?
That's it. Legion Vapes wins the internet today.
Guys, worst case scenario, we're gonna make a cult, right, for vaping, so we can try to like have our own little commune and like tell the government they can't come regulate us, and it's gonna be called Our Lord and Vapor.
Yeah, Our Lord and
just
Vapor.
decided what our cult commune will be called if we end up having to do that someday. But oh man, that's good. That's good, Lee.
Listen, and I know Tribal Buddhist. Tribal Buddhist says my liquids are high quality. They are. Your liquids are high quality. Sifu's liquids are high quality. But you're also not making
them in a bathtub.
Yeah, you're also like
for a fact.
I know that you care and you take the proper precautions. And when you mix your liquid, or when Sifu's mixing liquid, I know because I know you guys that you give a shit and you care, and it's going to be high quality.
You're buying reputable ingredients from reputable suppliers. You're measuring appropriately. You're doing, we're not talking, if anyone is doing that, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a random person who's like, hey, I bet I could figure this out. And then just dumps things together and tries to, which doesn't, I don't even know that that actually really exists.
No, it doesn't. See, I don't know that it exists, but it's just that perception exists. The general public proletariat, they see the vaping industry as like, and it's like what Matt was saying. It's like, you're not going to get their sympathy by telling them that vape shops are closing, because in their eyes, vape shops are evil, poison peddling, establishments that want to ruin your kid's life. So it doesn't do any good to say, oh, my business closed, because they don't care about your business anyway, because they see you doing evil. There's the perception that the vape industry is just this flying by the seat of our pants, is pumping in nicotine as much as we can, addicting as many people, trying to hook the children, and just put our, that we're this predatory, like, and it's not that. It's a legitimate billions of dollars industry a year in the United States. Billions, $4 billion industry in the United States. It's not all just kids huffing nicotine. I mean,
Mallory
it's insane to me.
Our Lord and Vapor said, let there be clouds.
on the first day. On this, the TBN day.
You guys, this is Lord hysterical. Someone needs to write this down for posterity.
Yeah. Also, we should start a vaping religion, right? And then the government wouldn't be able to really say bupkis, right?
Maybe. It depends on if you're granted certain things, but there is a chance.
Listen, there are snake handlers as a religion in America. Snake handlers. That's a religion in America that you can be and not taxed. You can have a snake handling church. I see no reason why I couldn't have the Church of Harm Reduction.
You could definitely try. I believe that you could definitely try.
I'm going to try. I'm just going to try.
You want more super chats? I think.
Yeah. There was some more super chats. I only read one actually. Slag. That was very gracious of you. I appreciate that very much. You didn't say anything you didn't have to. Here's a shout out for you, Slag. Appreciate you. I had another one here from Dave Lloyd. Damn it, Dave, you're always very gracious. How much to buy a wrench? What? The going rate is actually $20, Dave Lloyd. Did you know that? Did you know that's how you become a moderator, is you just buy your way in? Here, let's find Dave Lloyd. Let's make him a moderator. Where are you at, Dave Lloyd? Are you ready for this responsibility?
It's kind of a big deal, you guys. I mean...
Dave Lloyd is now a moderator for the GrimmGreen YouTube. Thank you, Dave Lloyd. You're always here. I can always rely on you. You're a good dude, and that's why you're a moderator. Toby Knows in the chat said Ireland. Ireland has 0 vape laws right now. Do they really have 0 vape laws in Ireland?
I'm not fact-checking any of this. I have no idea.
I'm going to need to check in on that. Maybe I'll report on that for the vlog. And then we had one from Tim J here. It says, when I was young, I wondered why Nixon started trading with China. Being the age I am, we were always told communism is bad, and it still is. I feel sorry for the people. I feel sorry for the people, not their government. Yeah, I always feel sorry for the people. I feel sympathy for the Ukrainian people. I feel sympathy for the Russian people. I feel sympathy. Like, the people are always where my sympathy goes. The regimes are the things that are terrible, horrible, corrupt, awfulness. Right. The people is where all my sympathy is. Same, Tim J. Same. Level 5 Loki says, While you are buying a Dapper CASAA T-shirt, maybe also sign up to donate money every month to CASAA. Look, yeah.
I mean, do that, you guys. $2 a month. Can you afford $2? Because if every member donated $2, we would never have to run any fundraisers. Just saying.
Really?
I mean,
that's good. That's good. Let's make sure CASAA is funded. I think that the Grimm Army could easily make sure CASAA is funded. I will donate personally monthly to make sure that CASAA is funded.
I mean, even just $1 or $2 a month, if all y'all did it, we'd be in a happy place, you guys.
We'd be in a much.
I mean.
Chasing Clouds and Flavor reviews the Vapors of Latter-day Saints. Vapism.
These folks just keep going.
The Vapors of Latter-day Saints. The Book of Vapor. Oh, that's so good. I can't even hydrate. All right, listen. Cooking with Kirby says, over 10 years watching you, I deserve a wrench. Oh. Here's the thing, Cooking with Kirby. I appreciate that very, very much. But the reality is, I gave Dave Lloyd a wrench because Dave Lloyd is here every single live stream. He's a reliable person. I'm not saying you're not reliable, Kirby. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I've seen Dave Lloyd here for months on end. He's always here. He's always in the chat on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, and I feel comfortable having that, like, not relationship with Dave Lloyd, but that acquaintanceship with Dave Lloyd. And I'm familiar with Dave Lloyd, and I trust Dave Lloyd to be a good moderator. Now, if Cooking with Kirby wants a wrench, you just bought one. Congratulations, but just Come to some live streams. Like, show yourself. Make yourself known. Get in there in the chat. Make some friends. Get my attention some more. When I see you week after week, maybe Cooking with Kirby, that's all it takes is persistence,
I have a fact-checking question. I have a thought in my mind, but I'm not sure if this is correct. Okay. So if you turn your mind back way to the back, I think, if I remember correctly, that the first live stream you ever did back when YouTube started doing live streams, when that was kind of new, I was under the impression that it was it was May the 4th and you wanted to watch Star Wars with everybody.
Correct.
And you asked moi to be a moderator for that stream because it was the first one that you were doing. So does that mean I was the first moderator?
I think you were the first moderator. I think you were. Yeah.
I feel like I have.
That's street
I don't know
cred.
if I'm misremembering that, but I remember you explicitly asked
that is a good
if
memory.
I would help you.
Yep.
And so I was Googling, how do I moderate? What's this YouTube live?
How do I moderate YouTube?
Looking up all the controls, what I do,
how I
ban people. You guys, I was going extra on it. I think I might be the OG moderator. I'm just saying. If somebody has proof to the contrary, let me know.
Yeah, I believe.
Until I hear otherwise,
I'm going to vouch for that. I'm going to vouch for you being the OG moderator on that May 4th stream. I remember the May 4th stream.
I think that was the first live stream you ever did, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the first deliberate live stream I ever did. Was the May the 4th, and we watched Star Wars together. That was really fun. That was a fun one.
We should do that again.
We should do that again. Jake Scrapwood, here. I hereby nominate Addie Tooney as the first saint of the first. Damn it. Where did it go? As the first saint of the first church of our Lord and Vapor. Okay, I'm done now. Okay, I'll take. I mean, Addie Tooney.
He could be a saint.
He could be a saint. He could be sainted.
Him a sainthood of our Lord and Vapor.
Of our Lord and Vapor, yes.
Yeah,
I can I'll christen him with a mech mod or something.
Right. You'd don't put batteries in them, but screw 5 together so you have
make a big stube,
and then you can
mech.
Yeah. He can make himself a little hat of little blue screwdrivers.
Yeah,
and then it'll be gorgeous, right? That's how you get sainted in our Lord and Vapor. Is you get a little crown made of little blue screwdrivers.
We can wear little blue screwdrivers around our neck like a cross.
Yeah, dude, I still have a necklace that Tooney made me of little blue screwdrivers. I think it's around here somewhere. I don't wear jewelry that much anymore, but other than what I have on. Oh yeah, I'm into you guys. Somebody better be writing this down because we might need it someday.
The first Church of Vapor. Our Lord and Vapour. That's comedy. That's good. This needs to be real. That just even talking about just makes me want it to be real so much.
It's kind of funny.
Okay, we had one more super chat here from Fishy. Came in late, but I'll be replaying. You, Nick, and Danielle are the best at giving us the info needed. Cheers to you both. Oh, Fishy, you are such a kind man. Thank you so much, bro. You know, we do our best. The TBN is easily the least viewed stream that I've ever done. Easily ever done. I still think it's the most important thing I do on this YouTube. Like, I do reviews and I like doing reviews, and honestly, I like it when people want a recommendation, like what pod should I get? And then I tell them and then they buy it and they're like, I quit smoking. I'm like, fuck yeah, that rules, you know? And the vlog is awesome, but TBN is like, this is critical. Like, this is brass tacks kind of shit. This is like the future of the industry kind of shit. And I feel like it's the most important thing I do, despite it being the least viewed thing that we do. Hey, but that's okay. You know what? I say that every week. I say not everybody's cut out for TBN, you know?
I wish they were.
I wish they were too. You could be. It's real easy.
It is.
It's super easy.
You literally just have to care.
Yeah, just show up and give a shit. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all it requires. Ooh, Christy says, I already have my high priestess garb.
Oh, nice.
For our, because I've got my little blue screwdriver necklace, so I'm ready to be a high priestess in our Lord and Vapour.
We'll need some, like, you know, some chants and some.
I feel we got to figure
some
this
sort
out.
of ceremony.
Are we going like
ceremonial
pagan?
robes?
Are we going
and,
like Catholic? What are we
like
doing?
you know, I've always.
Is it more of a mixture?
It's more of a. I always dug the Catholic vibe. It seems very like you know, ceremonial and robes and holding things and incense. You know,
incense.
Yeah, incense that happens in the churchy incense.
So we'd need a little like auto firing or continuously firing device inside our bowl that we're swinging vapors around.
Vaporize like Pony on Acid. Just
right.
May the Vapour bless you. May the Vapour bless you.
Our church would smell so good.
It would smell like a bakery 24/7. It'd be unbelievable. We'd have an amazing church. One thing we wouldn't allow in the church, I'll tell you, is very low nicotine cigarettes. How about that segue? No. That was quite a segue. Let's talk about very low nicotine cigarettes just real quick. You know what? We're winding this down. Let's go. Okay. We're almost done. Let's go watch the Batman. You know, we got the Batman tonight.
We're watching Batman tonight. It's coming out on HBO finally.
But could very low nicotine cigarettes become a new competition for vapor? This is E-cig Intelligence reporting this right here. The news reported on our sister site, Tobacco Intelligence, that 22nd Century Group is looking to launch its very low nicotine cigarettes in Chicago and South Korea. Seems on the surface to have little to do with vaping. VLNCs are combustible cigarettes containing almost no nicotine, are after all virtually the opposite of e-cigarettes. But how they are received is worth watching for the vape industry, and all the more so if the category takes off. I don't believe it's going to take off. I have very low hopes for VLNCs. At the end of the day, I'd like to see VLNCs help some people who smoke cut down or quit smoking. But man, it's like, you know, it's like you see a guy digging a hole with a spoon and you go, well, that will work. You know, that's not the worst way to do it. And you will eventually get a hole, but I have a shovel and he has a backhoe that we call vaping that will just clear, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about very low nicotine cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's branded as a modified risk tobacco product. It's been accepted and accepted as a modified risk tobacco product by the FDA. From a rational point of view, if very low nicotine cigarettes provide smokers with a pathway to permanent cessation, then great. Exactly. That makes them at least as good as e-cigarettes and conceivably better. However, if users treat VLNCs as long-term substitutes for higher nicotine cigarettes, the contribution to harm reduction will be negligible. The only reason I don't agree that it would be better than vaping.
No. Or even the same as.
But I believe that the point of view, I can see their point of view being, if you're a cigarette consumer and you just smoke tons of cigarettes and you switch to VLNCs and you go, I'm going to smoke these. Oh, okay, these aren't that good. Oh, I guess I'm done. Then you wouldn't be inhaling anything, nicotine or smoke or vapor or nothing. Sure. VLNCs, they think, will lead to pure abstinence, whereas I think the public sees vaping as something that where we get to continue our dependency, as it were, on nicotine. Mm-hmm. Just to play devil's advocate. I don't think it's as good or
I can
better.
Appreciate that argument. I would say, you can still. My response to that would be you can still taper down with vaping.
Yeah,
and while you're vaping, you're not inhaling toxins.
Yep.
So, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want my unbridled personal opinion on very low nicotine cigarettes,
I do.
I think what is going to happen is that no one is going to buy them. That's realistically what's going to happen.
Hayes.
Or somebody might try them being like, oh, maybe this will help me. And they will hate them. And then they will go back to their previous brand.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is probably mostly what is going to happen. Because like you said, if you're trying to dig a hole with a spoon and someone will sell you a shovel or even a backhoe, why are you going to sit there with a spoon?
Why are you going to sit there with a spoon? You're going to probably give up.
You're not going to do that.
You're probably going to give up, or you're probably not going to dig a hole as deep or as big as you wanted.
Right.
You'll be unsatisfied ultimately.
In my opinion, these are going to be a total flop. No one is going to buy them, or like a few people will buy them once and then stop buying them. Mm-hmm. And it's just not, I don't think it's going to be a thing. I think that you are still, it's still very
combustion.
Low nicotine cigarettes. All the death, none of the fun.
Yeah, all the death, none of the fun, none of the satisfaction.
Right, all the death.
Zero of the satisfaction.
So
they say
not
here,
a fan.
If users treat VLNCs as long-term substitutes for higher nicotine cigarettes, their contribution to harm reduction will be negligible.
It will be zero because they might as well they're just smoking. Whether they switched to less nicotine or not makes zero difference.
Yep.
Because they're still smoking. So it would be no change. There is no reduced harm.
And I'm interested to see what's going to happen when very low nicotine cigarettes don't necessarily take off. I think there will be some sales, but I think what's going to happen is people are just going to switch to VLNCs and then just keep smoking VLNCs. Just
that, or
in perpetuity forever. Or just switch back to their old brand.
That would be my guess.
How is the FDA going to quantify the idea that eventually, at some point, I think inevitably, there will be smokers who exclusively smoke very low nicotine cigarettes?
It's entirely possible.
How is FDA going to justify that? Going, well, at least they're not getting nicotine.
Right. I agree with you 100%. It's ridiculous.
Super ridiculous. It says VLNCs, in that scenario, VLNCs would be the lights of our time. Marlboro Lights. Right. Seemingly healthier, but in practice, hardly less risky than full-strength cigarettes. And this could even be exacerbated if, as many critics assume, users of VLNCs will indulge in risk compensation by smoking far more in order to obtain the same level of nicotine. In the process, also consuming a much greater quantities of potentially toxic byproducts. So they're going to be smoking more cigarettes.
I don't even know if they will, because there's virtually no nicotine in them. So even if you smoke 5, you're still not going to feel anything. That's why I think people are just going to switch back. Because if there's literally basically none in there, smoking 20 at once still isn't going to give you what you're used to. You know what I mean?
I've been off of caffeine for 4 years now, and I can't. There's no amount of decaf I can drink, despite it having small amounts of caffeine in it. There's no amount of decaf coffee I can drink that will make me feel caffeinated.
Right. Exactly.
Just doesn't exist. I could pound decaf coffee all day and then take a nap.
Right.
Even though I'm getting a little bit of caffeine, even though they're getting a little bit of nicotine,
It's not enough to satisfy you. So yeah, I don't even know that they'll smoke more. Maybe they will. They might try. You know what I mean?
That's one of those things. People tell me that doesn't happen. That won't happen. Like supporters of VLNCs on social media and Twitter always say that won't happen. They won't.
I don't think they can say that.
I think they won't overindulge.
They might try. They'll probably stop pretty quickly because it's not going to work. You know what I mean? But you can't say they won't try. You don't. I don't feel like they know that.
Yeah, you can't possibly say that. No, they don't. They don't know everyone. You don't know me. Yeah, you don't know me. Why
are we on the same wavelength, you guys? It's so great.
This just happens every Tuesday.
It's fine.
There is some scant evidence supporting very low nicotine cigarettes. If the amount of science for vaping could fill this cup, the amount of science for very low nicotine cigarettes would be like a drop. Boop. Very low nicotine cigarettes. This is a study, and NIH here. Transient compensatory smoking in response to placebo cigarettes. So this was a study that was carried out with zero nicotine cigarettes and then regular cigarettes. The results: placebo cigarettes produced increases in total puff volume and duration and decreases in total inter-puff interval relative to cigarettes with moderate nicotine content. What does that mean? Differences in total puff volume and duration generally dissipated across smoking bouts, with differences in total puff volume non-existent by the third or fourth bout. What does that mean? Conclusion: placebo cigarettes produce compensatory smoking during initial exposures. However, these effects appear to be short-lived. These findings are consistent with previous work where smoking compensation has been observed in response to a single cigarette, but not over several days of smoking.
So they're saying that they do initially smoke more, but then they calm it down.
It appears to be short-lived.
But my question is, how long did they study this for?
Let's see.
What was it, like 3 weeks or something? Like, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
5
I don't
days?
have the, let's see. Whose names are attached to this? Benowitz, Henningfield. We recognize those names.
Those are, not bad guys, but I'm just curious, like,
Benowitz
how long
isn't like my favorite
and how
guy.
many people?
I'm trying to read through some of this 30
Usually
minutes.
it's under methods.
Yeah. 67 dependent smokers participated in this two sessions within subject study. Moderate nicotine content and placebo cigarettes Quest brand were administered in a double-blind and counterbalanced manner. Each session required 12 hours of tobacco abstinence and included 4 ad-lib smoking bouts of the condition-assigned cigarette with 40 minutes separating each bout.
So very short term.
Really short.
Very many people. I'm not trying to be like rude or anything.
Small amount of people. Yeah. Within 12 hours. So this was a 12-hour study. So this isn't anything more than like a day or two.
I mean, that's what it sounds
compensatory
like to me.
Smoking.
I would be interested to see what happens over the course of 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Or longer.
What
if someone just keeps smoking VLNCs? Right. Which is going to happen. Like, people chew nicotine gum for years on end.
They do, and they're allowed to.
People are
approved for that.
Going to smoke VLNCs for a long time. This is the other science that I could find about it that is a randomized controlled trial. Very low nicotine content cigarettes disrupt the feedback loop of affective states and smoking behavior. So this was 20 weeks.
Okay.
We examined whether the relationship between effect, both negative and positive, and cigarettes per day was differed as a function of the reduction group. Why is science so confusing to me?
I know. I think they're saying how many cigarettes they smoke per day.
We found that both negative and positive effects were associated with cigarette consumption in the control group, but not in the gradual or immediate reduction groups across the 20 weeks of exposure.
What does the implication say?
they're saying, okay, these findings support the notion that switching to very low nicotine content cigarettes reduces the association between effect and smoking behavior, and that either a gradual or immediate nicotine reduction approach achieves this reduction. This proves further evidence that switching to very low nicotine content cigarettes weakens enforcement mechanisms associated with nicotine dependence.
Okay. I still don't totally understand.
I still don't. This isn't
like, did the
this
people
isn't
smoke
selling
less?
me on very low nicotine cigarettes.
Yeah.
They saying that people smoked less disrupts the relationship between effect and cigarette consumption. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
just they smoked less because it seems like they got bored of it and they weren't being satisfied by it, so they just gave up.
But here's the other thing though. Is this trial basically controlling what these people can do and what cigarettes they're allowed to use? Because the average human is not like locked in a hotel and only given this cigarette as an option. They can get up, throw that pack in the trash, go walk to the store and pick up their usual Marlboros. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's is this real world? Because in the real world, they can go buy other cigarettes.
Absolutely.
So, you know what I mean?
Look, I told you, there's a droplet of science around very low nicotine cigarettes and a mug full of science around harm reduction through nicotine vaping.
Yeah. I'm not.
But FDA is focusing on those very low nicotine cigarettes, baby.
I mean, I wish they'd put that kind of support behind vaping. Like, we got way more science. It would be so much easier. Science. Like, yeah.
But it doesn't why is it?
I'm not a believer in it.
I'm not a believer in it either. I'm not a believer in it either.
And my mind can be changed. Like, I will wait to see what happens. But at this moment, I'm not a believer.
I'm not a believer because I'm me and I was a smoker and I know what that feels like.
Right.
And I know my body and I know what I would have done. And I know even switching to vaping, even switching to 35 milligram freebase liquid was a little bit of a struggle. Like, I had to really stick with it. You have to really want it. People who passively like buy a pack of very low nicotine cigarettes, I think they're just going to be really hyper disappointed, and I think they're going to be mad, and then they're going to never try them again, ever again. It's the same thing that happens with vaping, though, too. If someone buys a cruddy vape and they just go, stupid,
right,
and then just go back to cigarettes and go, I'm not. I tried vaping, didn't work.
Yeah.
It's like,
see, that in and of itself should perfectly explain how it's going to go with, like, why would it be any different, right? You pick up a vape that doesn't work well, you just go back to smoking.
Go straight back to smoking.
Why would very low nicotine cigarettes be any different? Like,
for someone
I feel like these scientists are just like, no, it'll work. I just believe it. Like, oh my God, you guys.
Despite what the data and despite
the fact that something like this has never worked before and our tea doesn't, like, all the people go back to smoking, but they just
all the time
on this one for some reason.
Oh no, they're still smoking. That's the joy of it. You know, they're still smoking. Right. It's not claiming to be it's gross. It's gross. And I hate that FDA authorized a combustible product.
I know.
What? A combustible product where all of the harm comes from?
Right, but not and also where in their PMTA did they prove that this was more beneficial to or not going to hurt children or what about that? You know, like
their weird arbitrary line in the sand?
Yeah, whatever. Ugh. So annoyed, you guys.
So annoyed. See, every TBN gets me all riled up, and I get all riled up like reading the news before the stream, and I'm like doom scrolling and just getting more mad. You know, it just happens. It leads me like down different rabbit holes. I'll just get on Twitter, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm reading about vaping. Oh, whoops, nope. Now I'm reading about Disney. Oh, now I'm reading about Ron DeSantis. Shit, what have I done? Now, you know, I'm way off track, and now I'm just mad.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah. It happens. Doom scrolling. It's a real thing.
It is.
So that's where we're at, you guys. That's all the news that I feel that we have fit to publish. There honestly hasn't been a lot going on. Like we said earlier, it is a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yep.
So much hurry up and wait. We're waiting on Triton. We're waiting on China. We're waiting on FDA because they still haven't done anything with Views or with Juul. Juul. Sorry, Juul.
Still waiting.
Still waiting on Juul. Still waiting on Juul, the 50 milligram product. Meanwhile, the 0.3% nicotine products, the lowest nicotine products that exist, MDO'd off the market. Hard no, MDO'd off the market, but Juul, of course, gets special treatment, of course. And they're probably upset too. Altria is probably still, although I have no sympathy for Altria, but they're probably anxiously awaiting FDA's decision-making process.
I have no idea.
And if Juul doesn't get authorized, dude, that's going to be a hell of a lawsuit.
Oh, it's good. There's going to be a lawsuit either way, because if they get authorized, Truth and CTFK are going to sue the FDA. And if they don't get authorized, Juul's going to sue the FDA. So there's lawsuits abound either way.
This is what happens when FDA plays politics.
Yep.
This is what happens when FDA plays politics. Americans suffer the consequences.
Yep.
Unreal.
True
I don't
fact.
have my Mitch Zeller F the FDA clip, but man, I really wish I had that clip right now. F the FDA.
Oh, he was so upset about
so
that.
Mad, dude. I used that clip like 19 times in my last live stream. I couldn't help it. His delivery. His face
is like he could not believe that anyone would have the gall to say.
Oh my gosh. They said F the FDA, and it's not funny. That's what he said. It's not funny.
No, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's hysterical. It's hysterical, Mitch.
Sir.
That's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. New Wave Dave in with the super chat. My cat just stumbled through the door with a female cat. As they walked down the hall to his room, I saw him smack her ass and heard him say, "When you climax, scream out yak bong." Dave.
I think this is a Patreon joke that I don't get.
Dave. Yeah, I mean, it's a Patreon joke. It's a vlog live stream joke. We always have the ongoing escapades of Dave and his cat.
Yeah, I know about, but the cat is saying, I don't know that part of the joke.
He's getting a lot more bold these days, I guess,
Little R-rated cat stories is going on here.
His cat leads this very interesting life of apparently picking up other cats, bringing them home, smacking their asses in front of them. It's ridiculous.
Just make sure you get consent, Dave's cat. I'm just saying.
Consent. It sounds like there was definitely consent involved. I just hope, Dave, that you don't have to listen. I don't want you to be in the next room over.
Crazy noises when they're mating.
Yeah,
so.
Cat noises, and I'm sure your cat definitely talks dirty, Dave, so I don't want to hear any of that nonsense.
No, thank you.
No thanks, Dave. Yak bong, though, bro. Hey, happy early 420. That's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. I have nothing planned. I'm just going to work like normal, I think. Got another super chat here. Tim J says, call them near cigarettes. Near beer works so well. Yeah.
They're not even near cigarettes. They are cigarettes. Yeah,
they just straight up are combustible tobacco cigarettes. Just nothing that you want in them.
Right.
Just nothing that you want. Well, and here's the thing. I'm going to defend zero alcohol beer because I have recently been consuming a lot of zero alcohol beer because it's delicious and it doesn't fuck me up. And that's like the ultimate everything awesomeness. I love near beer. The new fake Heineken's rule. The new fake Lagunitas, really good. The Lagunitas hop water is delicious.
I just don't like beer, so.
Yeah, I really, really like beer. And I spent a lot of years drinking a lot of beer. And I just got, I gained weight and got all bloaty because I was just beer like crazy. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of just stopped drinking beer and all alcohol when I switched to cannabis. But I still miss beer. And I drink a beer a week in the vlog and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But beer just doesn't usually agree with my stomach very well. It makes me feel weird. It gives me gas. It gives me bloaty. I just don't necessarily like the way I feel with beer and alcohol in my system. But dude, non-alcoholic beers, lifesaver. You just drink them and they're great. You can drink them in the middle of the day. You can go back to work. I will defend them into the ground.
My thing is I only drink it if it tastes like juice or candy. That's my criteria. Yeah. Alcohol or otherwise, I don't drink very regularly, to be honest. Also, we're always on like low carb diets.
You like flavors, Danielle?
I know. Who would have
the audacity that you have as an adult to enjoy flavor? Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. So like my favorite, if I'm having an alcoholic beverage, which I don't have very often because again, they're also high in sugar and I'm forever low carb and
sugar.
Fending off high blood sugar and all these things. But if I'm having a beverage, my favorite adult beverage, all of y'all are going to laugh because this is like what people drank in high school. Mm-hmm. My favorite adult beverage is I mix two things together. The first one is Hypnotic.
It's the blue glittery swirly. Yep.
And the second one, I mix it with like one of my sparkling ices, especially the blueberry one that I get, the blue raz one. Mixing those two things together, first off, it turns the drink a lovely shade of purple, which have you met me? And it tastes
it's just
like
your favorite color.
The best candy in the world of the gods. It's delicious. Okay.
Of the gods.
If you guys have never had Hypnotic, it's like alcohol flavored fruit punch. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It is
delicious. Oh, that's my favorite drink.
It is hypnotic.
It is hypnotic, right? And there was actually like a shortage of them in my area when we were on a break where we were having alcohol. And my husband and I would drive around to all the Bevmos. We went like 20 miles once looking for
just hypnotic
because I bought it out from at one point I was like, did they stop making it? Like, what's happening? And then
holy crap, that's great. You were really on a pilgrimage for Hypnotic.
Oh, yeah. It's my fave drink. And I'm like the only one in California that buys it. So when I buy the store out over, then I have to wait for them to restock. It sucks.
Never dabbled with Hypnotic, although I do love sweet, fruity, delicious alcohol drinks. Like all day long. Give me that. It's great. Oh, yeah. But I am a beer guy. I like beer.
Some little
Smirnoff Ice? Smirnoff Ice? Dude, I love Smirnoff Ice. I used to like Zima back in the day.
Yeah,
Zima?
Yeah.
Dude, I used to
Fuzzy
drink Zima.
Navels. That's my area where
all
I
day
live
long.
And I'm happy. Yeah.
I like beer. I'm a beer guy. I don't know. I just had a beer one day and it really like pulled me into beer because it's like, with vaping, if you try it and you don't like it, you go, okay, I tried it. I don't like it.
Yep.
And like I had beer and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not really a beer guy. And then my boss at the time, Doug, I was working in the tasting room at Starbucks. He's like, oh, you should go buy some Old Rasputin's Russian Imperial Stout. He's like, it's one of my favorite beers. It's a good fall beer because it was fall time. He's like, just drink it. It's like, oh, okay. So I went and bought a 4-pack. It was like $19. So I'm like, Doug, what the shit? This is expensive beer. But I got home and I put it in the fridge and I had one that night and it was like, what is this brew? It tastes like brown sugar and beer, and it was just these layers of like complex stout flavors, and I just loved it. Like it was the most like mind-changingly beer that I've ever had, and as soon as I had that beer, I went, all right, well, what else is out there? Like what else have I been missing out on? And that was the one beer, Old Rasputin. Sucked me right into the craft beer. I drank beer
and I was like, ugh, why is it gross water?
Why does it taste like terrible?
Yeah, that was basically me. Dave's cat is getting a little weird, okay?
Dave's cat?
I'm not okay with this.
My cat yelled out from his room and said, tell Danielle she's next.
No, she is most definitely not.
Definitely not. Plus,
no.
I mean, maybe you and your husband could beat up New Wave Dave's cat, but
oh, for sure.
I mean, maybe, but it would be a close maybe. He carries a switchblade, so just this cat is not a correct cat. This cat is wrong.
Just bring a gun to a knife fight. I don't know,
Yeah. Dave.
No, I am not next. I'm not. No, I'm happily married and I don't engage in bestiality. So 2 big no's for
this
me.
Cat is an attractive cat. Like, I'm not going to lie.
I don't care. I'll pet it, but that's as far as we're going.
Yeah, shit.
Okay.
Tim J, I'm trying to make a point. When Near Beer came out, they thought it would help alcoholics get off of alcohol. I don't know. Was that the point of Near Beer when it came out? Was no like idea. Zero alcohol beer for people who drink a lot of beer?
The other day, I Googled this because I was thinking about it. And from what I read, the initial invention of very low alcohol or no alcohol beer came during the like prohibition movement, and it was an attempt to like satisfy the people who wanted no alcohol in anything. So they made like very low or almost none to try to like calm them down. So I think if you go way back, that's what I read anyway, was the history of that. I don't think that they made it to get off of alcohol. They made it to try to, like if
it was
we made
never like a treatment thing.
Well, right. No, it would be like if we tried to put out 0 milligram vaping in order to satiate and calm down Truth Initiative. Like it was more like that,
Right.
And I do, I know, that people in recovery who abstain completely from drinking do enjoy being able to have near beer so that they can like, have a thing at a barbecue and they like the flavor and etc. But in my Google foo, that was not the initial point of the invention of it, just for the record.
I don't know. I don't know enough about near beer to say. But I'll look into it. I'll look into it too. I like near beer. I like fake beer.
I have no problem with it.
I think it's great. I think it's my only experience with fake beer growing up was my good buddy Jim, who's my best friend for years and years. His stepdad, Randy, who unfortunately, rest in peace, Randy, he passed away recently. Rest in peace, Randy. But all of my experience with near beer was Randy like suffering through drinking them, like he'd go to the fridge and he's like, he'd much rather have a beer, but all that's in the fridge is near beer, because he's trying to watch his weight or whatever reasons. But he like mourned it. Like he suffered through them, but he still drank them all the time. Plenty O'Doul's everywhere, all over the place. He drank lots of near beer, but it always felt like, a little bit of like I just wish I could have a regular beer. Just, this is fine and I'll drink it, but that's how it always appeared to me. That's how it appeared. What else happened? Tell her to bring... Dave is definitely in the shed time right now, 100%. Yeah. Those are things that a stoned person says, Dave.
Yeah.
So just give me some time. I'll join you in a few hours, Dave, and we can goof on your cat like all night long. Just cat stories. Okay, you guys. Well, that's it. I think we're winding down. We're going to watch... I'm going to watch The Batman.
Yeah, we want to watch Batman.
Are you looking forward to The Batman? What's your opinion on The Batman?
So I'm not sure what to think of Robert Pattinson as Batman. Okay, let me... I actually... So this would normally be when we do unpopular opinions. Yeah. I don't think that the opinion I am about to share is super unpopular, but you guys can let me know if that's in fact wrong.
Oh, we will.
So when it comes to Batmans, okay, my all-time favorite Batman in the world is, can you guess?
I'm going to say Keaton, but I don't know.
Oh, no.
Michael Keaton? Not Michael Keaton?
No. Now I'm just blanking on his name. I get to the
Christian
point where
Bale?
I have to say yes, Christian Bale.
The Dark Knight.
I love The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That is ultimate Batman for me. Okay? Yes. Love it. Second to that, now here's where the unpopular opinion is about to come in.
Okay.
Second to Christian Bale, and you have to understand this is what I grew up on, so please don't yell too much. Second favorite Batman is West. George Clooney.
Oh no!
That is what I grew up on. Oh, that was Batman when I was a kid. It was George Clooney, and I loved it. Okay.
Oh,
now I understand that is not what most people feel about Batman, but it's what I grew up with. It's the only Batman I knew until I became an adult. So it's my unpopular opinion that I'm allowed to have. But
you're
Christian
totally allowed
Bale
to have that.
Is my favorite
Christian Bale
all time, bar none.
Yeah, I really like Christian Bale. See, for me, I'm old. You see, I was born in you remember the 70s when disco was a thing and the war on drugs hadn't really started yet. The war on drugs hadn't quite started.
The 70s, I've heard of them.
It was good times from what I can remember. But I'm old, and so my first Batman was Adam West on the old Batman TV show in the 1960s, with the spandex suit and the Batmobile with the big fins on it. It was really super overly campy, but I just really liked it because it was for kids. It's like a Batman kids show. But in 1989, okay, I was 12 years old, and Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson were in Batman, and that will always be my Batman. Michael Keaton was an amazing Bruce Wayne. He was an amazing Batman. That movie in particular, like, oh, now Nick's a huge Batman fan. Okay. Gotcha. This movie did it. That movie is like, you like Batman now a lot. Michael Keaton is my Batman. Okay. Christian Bale, I would say, is a firm second place, if not competing for the first place, because objectively those movies just kind of rule.
Oh, they're excellent.
They're unbelievable. Christopher Nolan. Perfection. Yeah, they're unbelievable. But in third place, I really like Batfleck. And I don't know why. I just really liked Batfleck.
I really didn't mind him. He was a different kind of Batman. Closer to a Christian Bale type than, let's say, Clooney or anybody else, in my opinion.
Kilmer. Val Kilmer was Batman too, you know.
Yeah, I'll have to be honest with you. I don't really like older things, so I'm not as familiar with the things. I just
you didn't watch like the old Batman movies, like Batman Forever with Val Kilmer?
I might have seen it.
Val Kilmer, Nicole Kidman was in that. Jim Carrey was in that. Wait. Val Kilmer was the Batman.
In that one?
With Kilmer.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
As the Riddler?
As the Riddler.
Oh, I saw that one. I love that one too.
That's Val Kilmer as Batman.
For some reason in my head, they're all Clooney. Like, I get a little confused. Okay.
Just Clooney world. Everybody's Clooney. No, seriously.
Okay, so my Batman is that the only Batman movie he was in?
Val Kilmer? Yeah.
Okay, so that one and then the Clooney ones, that's what was going on in the world of Batman when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. Because all the other ones, right, with Two-Face and Poison Ivy, that was Clooney, right?
Yes.
And Arnold.
Yes, Arnold, yeah.
And so all the I think there were two or three of them with Clooney, and then that one Val Kilmer one.
Yeah, it was Okay,
I liked him.
Yeah,
all right, he was
think you liked so Tim Burton did the first Batman 89, and then he did the sequel Batman Returns, also with Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Both of those movies are real solid. And then they continued that Batman universe, but with a new director, Joel Schumacher, who took over and did the Val Kilmer, George Clooney movies.
Okay, I like those.
Yeah, so you like the second half of the...
Yes.
You like the bad half of the good Batman movies.
It's what I grew up on, okay? You know what? Objectively, some of the Star Wars don't hold up super well, but you love them because you grew up with
Here's
them,
the thing.
Okay?
Star Wars holds up. Always holds up. I've watched A New Hope a trillion times, and it's always awesome. It never feels dated to me. It never feels dated.
I'm the queen of unpopular opinions. My favorite Star Wars of all time is Rogue One. Even over
that's fair enough.
The Holy Trilogy. Like,
I mean,
sorry, you guys. I didn't grow up with Star Wars, so I don't have that attachment to it.
Right. I don't gatekeep Star Wars, but objectively, Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie. I mean,
like, unpopular
I think it's
opinion?
a law. I think it's like a recorded thing. Like, it's in the Smithsonian and stuff.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't have a problem with Ben Affleck as Batman. I didn't really have an issue with it. I thought it was fine. It wasn't anything like amazing, but it was totes fine. When I first heard about Robert doing Batman, I thought, he's like small and scrawny and kind of young.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Batman is, I mean, he's not a little.
He's Batman.
Robert Pattinson looks kind of like a skinny nerd. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to Robert Pattinson, but that's kind of what that's not the physique and the attitude that I think of when I think of Batman. However, I am more than willing to be surprised. So I should now, you know what I am excited for? Catwoman. Yes, Zoe Kravitz, right?
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman.
So excited.
Hell yeah, Catwoman. Zoe Kravitz just rules, though. She's kick-ass.
Yeah, she is. I loved her in Big Little Lies. I think she was in Big Little Lies, right? Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm open to Robert. I'm trying not to prejudge. I have a little bit of prejudging. Like, I don't know, are you going to be able to pull it off? But I'm willing to be impressed.
I have high hopes, and it's because there's been so many times in movies and Hollywood where I'm like, oh, that's going to be dumb. Oh, that's going to be dumb. And then it ends up being awesome. So then now I just go, could be awesome. Like that's where I land. It could be awesome. I've been wrong so many times about what's cool and what's not that, we'll see.
Also, it depends on a lot, right? Okay, so do you do the DC stuff too? I mean, it sounds like you kind of do.
Right? I mean, I pretty general comic
okay,
book nerd.
So did you watch the what was the film where they did the one cut and then the other cut?
Justice League. Yeah. Snyder.
The guy from Buffy.
Yeah. What? The
Joss
guy
Whedon,
from Buffy?
right?
Yeah, Joss Whedon. Yeah, Joss Whedon did one, and then
Joss Whedon did one, and then Zack Snyder, right, did what he had envisioned.
Zack Snyder started it. Joss Whedon finished it, and then Zack Snyder did his whole
his
thing.
Own cut.
They're like, okay,
the Zack Snyder version, light years better.
Light years better. Yes, I agree.
Like I didn't really like it, and then I watched his, and I was like, oh, I get it now. Oh, great film. Great film.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep,
you left all the important bits in. Excellent. I get it now.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think it depends a lot on whether something is like, I'd never seen, I feel like that's the first big example of like, here's a movie cut one way, here's the same movie cut another way, compare and contrast. Yeah. Editing makes a huge difference.
Clearly editing makes a huge difference. Clearly the director's vision makes a big difference, and that's what fucked us on Star Wars. I guess we're just talking about movies and Star Wars now. That's what fucked us on Star Wars, because the sequel trilogy was terrible, okay? It wasn't good. A Force Awakens is pretty good. The Last Jedi, I really like The Last Jedi. And then the last movie is terrible because of the director. Because J.J. Abrams sucks. He fucked up the last movie, and we had 3 different directors for a trilogy. We had 2 different directors for a trilogy. There's no cohesive artistic vision. There's no cohesive tone. Like, comparing The Last Jedi with its tone to The Rise of Skywalker, and it's like clearly like internet TikTok video game trailer tone.
Yeah.
2 tones across a trilogy of movies. It's like, what? Like, imagine if the middle Nolan movie had just been completely different tone, over the top colors and campiness, and then the third movie went back to, it's like, that's what ruined Star Wars.
I understand. I didn't see it quite the same way that you did. I felt, because I get mixed up too. So how many were there total? There was The Force Awakens.
3. Yeah, there was The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, which was the one where most of the movie they were just on a ship being chased? That was the second one. Right?
Yeah, that was The Last Jedi. And Rey is on the planet training with Luke Skywalker.
Right. So that's actually my kind of least favorite one.
It's most people's least favorite, yeah.
Because they're, again, most of the time they're on a ship running and having arguments. Other than what Rey's doing. I thought the first one had a ton of promise and really liked it.
Yeah.
And I actually liked the third one. I know a lot of people didn't, but I found it way better than the second one. So I was like, okay, all right, here we go. But overall, they're all not great compared to Rogue One.
Compared to Rogue One, compared to the original Holy Trilogy, the despecialized, the non-special edition, it's just, to me, it's like I would base a religion on it. I believe in it so much. Like, they're flawless. They are flawless. Mm-hmm. They're just spectacular. Just spectacular. The great thing is, the originals. And the great thing is, like, no matter what they did with the sequels or what they ever do with TV or anything, those 3 movies still exist, and I'll always love them. And no one can ruin that. Right. You know, you can't. You can't ruin it. Make all the bad Star Wars movies you want. I still like Empire Strikes Back. I still like Return of the Jedi. It's amazing. They're amazing movies.
It's true. I like Rogue One. It's my favorite.
I really like Rogue One as well. I thought Rogue One was genius because we knew how it was going to end, but it was still tense.
Amazing how we got there.
Yeah, really amazing how we got there.
Yeah.
That's smart.
All the characters were the best. Even random side characters. I was like, I adore you, random side character.
Yeah. And they're doing a Cassian Andor like spin-off series for Disney Plus.
I am interested in that.
It should be cool. The Batman is art noir in a modern setting. If you look at it through that lens, it's amazing.
What does art noir mean?
Art noir, it's like I don't know. I always just pictured it as like artsy, high contrast black and white.
I don't like just artsy films for the sake of being artsy.
Art noir. Let's try to see if there's a.
I need a plot and an arc and.
Oh yeah. There is. There certainly is. From what I understand,
there's
it's
like really artsy
early
movies
Batman
that don't have a good plot. They're just like artsy for the sake of it, and I'm like, that's not my jam.
I get you. Look, I have to have a story too. I need a good story.
Yeah, a good story, and also some good characters and some good dialogue. And I'm a really picky movie watcher.
Are you?
But at the same time, I also have a lot of unpopular opinions.
Yeah, but
so take that for what you will.
You see, I'm assuming, like everybody, plenty of movies that I like that are bad.
Oh, yeah.
But I love them.
I like guilty pleasures. Yeah.
So many of those.
Most horror films I go ahead and watch and have fun with. They're not good. I'm not going to watch them again, but I have fun doing it. You know what I mean? I like horror. They just don't make a lot of good horror anymore.
I've seen some pretty good horror. No, never mind. There's one movie that I've been wanting to watch. I can't remember the name of it. Never mind. There is no good horror. There's no good horror anymore.
The Conjuring was the last good horror.
I recently rewatched The Conjuring, and it was pretty good. I used to really like that movie Insidious, although I think we've mentioned this before.
One too.
Yeah, Insidious is good.
These are old.
Insidious
There's been nothing really good for kind of a while. When was The Conjuring even? When did that first come out?
Oh, it's ages ago. There's been 4 Conjuring movies.
2013.
Was it really? Oh, here you go.
Yeah,
Danielle.
2013.
Like a 50s detective novel. / movies are art noir.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that.
We'll see.
We'll see what I think of
tonight.
Batman.
You'll know tonight. Yeah.
I don't usually. Is he talking what's that movie? L.A. Confidential, that kind of thing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like that. I mean,
yeah, I would say so.
Depends on my mood whether or not I'm in. Some of that comes off a little hokey to me. I can
see that. I think they did it in a. I don't know. I'm hoping they did it in a good way.
I'm excited to see
I've heard
Batman.
good things about the
Y'all
Batman.
are freaking me out with your different interpretations.
You're gonna hate it.
Just
it's
let
an
me
art
watch
noir film. It's a musical. What the fuck?
Not a musical. Okay.
Is that a musical?
I mean, I like a musical. Don't get me wrong, but not for Batman. I still need to watch West Side Story.
Here's the thing. Okay. Oh, I haven't watched West Side Story either. I used to be a pretty big fan of West Side Story back in the day. I used to know all the songs. I like a good
musical. I made my husband watch Oklahoma.
Jealous Craig says J.J. Abrams did both The Force Awakens and The Return of Skywalker. Even if people like The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson really pissed on the sequel pool by not matching the vibe of The Force Awakens.
I think that's...
I kind of agree with that, Jealous Craig. But here's what I'll say. I wanted him to not match the vibe of The Force Awakens because The Force Awakens, I saw it in the theater and I was like, yes, a good Star Wars movie. We got it. Yeah. And then I went home and I was like, whoa, wait, was that a good movie? Or was it 90% fluff and A New Hope again?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I think people look at The Force Awakens through rose-colored glasses because it was the first time we got a good Star Wars movie in a really long time.
That's fair.
So I think people were just excited to have a good Star Wars movie without realizing that, they just did A New Hope over again with a bigger Star Destroyer, with a bigger, this is the planet killer. It's like, here's the Death Star, here's the big planet killer. It's like,
right.
Are those all the weapons that exist in the galaxy?
Yeah.
That's it?
I get you.
Okay.
No, it's a fair point. It is a fair point.
So I think we mostly got fluff with The Force Awakens, but I think The Last Jedi actually gave us like substance. Like, why was Luke Skywalker the way he was? Why did he act like that? Why did he banish himself? Why, what's his issues? There's deeper meaning here than just laser swords and blasters, And I felt like Rian Johnson made a really, really, probably too mature of a Star Wars movie. Like it was
don't
too
even
mature.
Remember what the answer to those questions
so good.
was. Why
and
Luke didn't.
The Kylo Ren and Rey fighting together after Snoke is dead is one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars ever. Yeah. I love the shit out of that. I loved
their like forbidden romance situation. Like,
except they shouldn't have kissed.
Anyway, I'm into that. Give me lots of that. I'm into that.
I was mad. See, everything about the last movie upsets me. There's not one redeeming thing I can find in the last movie other than it's some of the characters that I like.
Oh no, I liked the last
movie. That's it. I hate it into the ground.
I liked it.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. That's good. That's the thing about everything is you can like whatever you like. Liking things shouldn't be stressful.
Oh no.
It shouldn't.
It can be a little bit for me because I like a lot of things that other people don't like. But
I'm the same way too. I like The Last Jedi. I like The Last Jedi.
I'll have all the Pizza Hut, and you guys can go have bougie pizza. That's fine.
Exactly.
Mine will come in 20 minutes. You can wait 3 hours for yours.
I'll eat Taco Bell and watch The Last Jedi, my favorite of the sequel trilogy.
I will also. Oh man, I miss Taco Bell so hard.
I wait till Thursday to have Taco Bell, but
I wait till never to have Taco Bell.
Just order a crunchy taco supreme someday, or just order one thing. Like
so when we do our whole moving situation, it's gonna be because we're gonna be like packing everything up, right? So. There's going to be cheating happening, and I'm really looking. Also, my birthday is coming up in June. My birthday will be a cheat day. Birthdays are always cheat days.
What's your birthday? Actual birthday?
June 4th is my actual birthday.
Oh, I'll remember that. That's 3 days after my brother.
Right, and it's May the 4th, but the one after.
But June the 4th, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick. All right.
But no, maybe I'm going to get Taco Bell for my birthday.
I like this
Pizza
idea.
Hut is a given because what the fuck, Pizza Hut.
Because Pizza Hut.
Love Pizza Hut, but I think I want taco. Okay, let's stop talking about this. Sorry, guys. I'm obsessed with fast food. It's so terrible. I never eat it, but it's all I want in my life.
I eat it once a week.
I wish that I ate it once a week.
I eat it once. I could eat it tonight. You can't stop me. Oh no, my wife we went grocery shopping. I have actual food to make tonight.
Okay.
See, Casey's out of town and I'm alone, and so when I'm alone at my house, it's like.
Oh, I DoorDash.
Why do I want to cook dinner? Like, it's not fun without my wife and like
I do that?
Listening to music and like hanging out. We have fun when we cook dinner, but when it's just by myself, it's like I'd rather just play video games and order food from my phone.
Oh no, exactly. That when the one time Josh went out of town for like a week to do stuff, I was like, we're just DoorDashing every night. I guess that's just what's happening.
Yep,
watching movies and DoorDashing.
Yep. So tonight's gonna be. I'm gonna grill a steak on my grill tonight. I think that's my goal.
Have you ever gotten into that sous vide life?
We have one. We've never used it. I've never gotten into it. I understand it's quite impressive.
Oh yes, we sous vide once a week, every week.
Sous vide.
Yes.
See, Phil's on your side.
The juiciest. Yeah, Phil. No one ever agrees with me. Pizza Hut is the tits.
Pizza Hut's the tits. Now corroborated by the sexy one.
Yes. Pizza Hut.
Yeah. Order Pizza Hut for your birthday. No, order Taco Bell. Order both for your birthday.
I might get, but I'll...
Pizza Hut for lunch. Taco Bell for dinner.
See?
Yeah, milkshakes. Just dump them on your head.
Oh, yeah. We have a great milkshake place, too.
Dude, I love a milkshake. I can't say no to a milkshake. If some random person on the street just walked up to me and was like, here, you want a milkshake? I'd drink it. I'd go, yeah.
No questions.
I want that milkshake. Yeah. I would just drink it. You couldn't stop me.
We have a really good place in the area that I live in. And they do excellent milkshakes.
God, I love a good milkshake.
It's like a hamburger diner joint, and they milkshakes, French fries. Ooh, maybe
craft milkshakes.
There. Oh yeah, it's called Jeffrey's. It's so good. It's like diner food, but like good diner food. You know, like hamburgers and onion rings and milkshakes.
Oh, that's good. That's delicious. We used to have a place up in Tahoe I used to go to, the Zephyr Cove Lodge. You could get a big like 3rd pound burger and and a large milkshake, and they'd bring you out the milkshake and the stainless steel milkshake maker because there was extra, you know?
Fuddruckers does that.
I love that.
Fuddruckers.
I haven't been to Fuddruckers in like a decade.
That used to be my favorite. In fact, when given the option, I will eat Fuddruckers burger, fry, milkshake situation over all other. That is
really?
My favorite.
Fuddruckers.
If I want an American hamburger dinner situation, Fuddruckers is what I will pick above all other options.
I haven't had Fuddruckers in a really long time. It used to be one of our go-to places, like after band practice, after glacier practice.
Yes.
We'd go to Fuddruckers, or sometimes we go to Chili's, you know. Fuddruckers ruled. I haven't had it in a really long time, though.
It's so good. And they don't have one around where we are here. They do over in the East Bay, but not, we'd have to like drive a while. So we haven't been in like years. Another Pizza Hut
He says Pizza Hut is the shit. And I have it in South Africa. We go to Domino's too. They okay, but Pizza Hut is the instant mouthwater. Instant
I mean, Domino's is fine. I can do Domino's in a pinch, but Pizza Hut is bae, you guys.
I feel like it's been too long since I've had Pizza Hut, despite you continuously talking about Pizza Hut.
Oh my God. Pan crust. Don't get distracted with that stuffed crust nonsense. Pan crust.
What's the sauce level on a Pizza Hut pizza?
Okay, so
is it good? Is it too much?
For me personally, it's a little on the heavy side. I also suffer from heartburn and acid reflux. So when I order, I go light. I tell them, you can tell them what you want. And I say, light sauce, please. And I do light sauce, extra cheese, pan crust. That's what I get.
That's the winner?
With sausage, onion, and green bell pepper.
See, I don't do sausage. I don't dig on swine. I don't eat pigs.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just skip it. It's fine.
Sometimes
I just go plain extra cheese. That's
it. Is pepperoni pork?
Just
pepperoni a pork?
Pepperoni is pork.
Okay. Damn. Can't have pepperoni or sausage anymore.
I'm pretty sure pepperoni.
Probably why I haven't had pizza in a really long time. That would explain it.
Get chicken. You could put chicken on pizza.
Chicken on a pizza?
Oh my God. You've never had a barbecue chicken pizza before? Are you joking me?
Chicken on a pizza?
Yeah, it's delicious.
That sounds not good.
Cheese, barbecue sauce, red onion. So good.
Maybe.
Are you kidding? We need to have pizza together more often. I need to teach you the ways.
I need to teach you the ways of the pizza.
Chicken look, a porn bot.
I like pizza. Yeah, there was 2 of them today. Okay, so Happy Hippie said Portillo's. So I'll vouch for Portillo's in the greater Chicagoland area. It's just it's like a local food places, and it's really only in the Chicago area, and it's kind of I don't know, it's like a big I can't even explain it. I can't explain it, but Portillo's is really good. I would get the you get the beef sandwiches and you dip it in hot cheese. So good.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I'll dip anything in cheese. Dip it all in cheese. Cheese makes everything better.
I mean, I do like cheese a lot.
See, now I'm just craving pizza.
Right? I'm telling you, everyone in chat is having pizza for dinner tonight. If you haven't already had pizza,
so bad. This was the pizza TBN that got everybody eating pizza tonight. Damn it.
Love pizza.
I like pizza and ranch dressing.
Oh, yes.
That's it. I remember there was one night we had pizza. I mean, this was a while ago, but I remember after we were done eating pizza, we were going back to the kitchen. I told Casey, I was like, if I'm ever like really depressed or something, just remind me that pizza and ranch dressing exists.
Yeah.
Just that's all I need to keep going in my life. I just need to know that exists.
No, my husband knows I'm such a food motivated person. If something like really bad with vaping happens, right? Like really bad, and I'm like crying and depressed, my husband, it's usually understood that it's an automatic cheat evening because I just need it to keep
Taco
going.
Bell will
right.
happen.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Look, Look, that's the human animal though. That's the human animal. There's a Portillo's in Buena Park? Tanner Fry, don't tease me like that, dude. Is there a Portillo's in Buena Park? Looks like I'm driving 2.5 hours to Buena Park just to get Portillo's. I didn't know that, Tanner Fry. Thank you for that, Tanner Fry. I'm going to go get some Portillo's. Not tonight. Maybe not tomorrow. Anyway.
No, tonight we are having barbecue pulled pork that has been cooking in our crock pot since this morning. Crock pot since
That'll
this
be
morning.
good. If I ate pigs, I'd be all about that. But look, I used to eat pigs.
We have it like twice a week, and we get these little. They look like tortillas, but they're made from egg whites. So imagine an egg white tortilla.
Oh wow!
And then we put the pulled pork in it, and some zero sugar barbecue sauce, and we have little pork tacos. And then if it's a cruise night where we can have vegetables, I make homemade coleslaw, and that goes in the little taco. It's delicious.
That sounds delicious. I'll just be grilling a steak by myself.
Oh.
And my schnauzer. I'll have a Miller High Life. Just cook a steak. Sounds great.
I'm telling you got to get on that sous vide life.
Man.
So tender and juicy.
I know. Everybody tells me about sous vide.
It can make bad meat better. It's pretty impressive.
Really? Beecher, Beecher Howard. I don't know if you guys know this about Beecher Howard, a.k.a. Coil Turd. He is an actual chef. Like, if he quit Coil Turd, he could go be a chef at like a Michelin star restaurant. He is a legitimate chef, foodie with a really good palate, and he's really talented chef. He constantly is praising the sous vide machine to me.
Oh, it's amazing. Constantly. It's incredible. I'm telling you can take lower quality meat from the grocery store and make it seem like more expensive meat with the sous vide. It's real.
Look, Caveman loves smoke. It's just you and me going to be eating big hunks of meat tonight. That's fine. Just buy ourselves
I'm eating a bunch of meat too.
Today's
an attack day, so all the protein.
I don't know exactly what that means, but to me,
it means I can't have vegetables today. I can only have vegetables on cruise days. Today's an attack day, so that's why it's pulled pork. And protein.
Sometimes I'm thankful that I'm just still plugged into the matrix. Like, I don't want to care about my food that much. I eat when I'm hungry, and when I'm hungry, I'll just eat whatever is in front of me. I don't have time to think about macros or
no, I don't do that. It's just
weird days of protein
days
and only
or attack days. There's only two. It's binary.
Is this a particular? Is this a particular like program or diet that you're on?
Diet.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
I've lost like 35 pounds, so.
Oh, that's kick ass. That's kick ass 9,000.
So. Just
That's
saying,
rad.
It works.
All right, keep your cruise days, keep your attack days, keep that going.
It's working. I just lost another pound this morning, so.
Boosh.
Also, I just found some cereal that I'm allowed to have on this diet, and I'm so excited about it.
I had cereal for lunch. I had Honey Nut Cheerios for lunch. I just didn't even think about it.
Little square cereal. It's made from like vegetable cellulose or whatever, but it tastes close enough to the real thing. When you haven't had it for so long, you're like, this works. This is close enough.
Dang. Well, shit.
Yep.
All right, fake cereal. Well, on that note, we're going to say goodbye. We went way too long tonight, but
we did.
Thank you so much for coming out. We're going to do it again in 2 weeks. We're going to have some news and advocacy and some unpopular opinions. I think that's just the way this show goes, and I'm here for it. And I'm
that's what
here
you get when I'm on.
For it. I love it. I love it. I wouldn't have it literally any other way, Danielle Jones. So I'll say goodbye. Peace out. Everybody keep vaping. Keep up that good fight. Don't let anybody push you around. Stand up for science. Stand up for vaping. Stand up for safer nicotine. And vaping's going to win. It's going to save 1 billion lives. Flavor's going to help it.